Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ambition, a Minuet in Power. So, we have gotten through quite a lot of, multiple people's storylines and a few side characters that I don't know if they're going to be main players, but let's take a look here. This was updated 7 days ago, so I'm not sure if we have to continue to keep going to that other, the cafe, to see how this moves. But, yeah, the bourgeoisie is definitely in the allegiance of the revolution now. We're trying to get the military and the church headed that way, but that's going to be a while, I think. For now, I think we have the opportunity to go out on the town before we rest on this day, because we will have, we're gonna have some, actually no, we got one exhaustion, so maybe we won't rest. What we'll do is maybe we'll go to the cafe. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Whoa, man, look at this. Providing for the poor. Oh, these must be Ludovico ones. Unwilling Confessor, Coffee Run. All right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to this Antoine one, and then we're going to go to the Coffee Run. And then the coffee should reduce our exhaustion, and then we can move forward from there. This is going to be a church event. We don't really have something good for a church event, though. If anything, we have this one, but it's only going to be +2, but we're going to be -5 for, oh man, we're going to be -5 because of the exhaustion level. Maybe what we should do is instead we should buy a dress. So let's look for a dress for church. This is +13, that's good. +13 is it, basically. Let's purchase this one. Let's try to sell... no. This one. No, this is the one we just bought. This one. Let's sell this one. It's way down in the novelty, and nothing here is really going to be very beneficial. So let's sell this right off. What? Oh, man. This honorary dress is, pretty sweet. Alright, so let's see here. This one is good for bourgeoisie. Oh, honorates? Oh, that's good for bourgeoisie. Very good, very good. Okay, this one's good for revolution. Okay, I think... Let's take a look here. Is there anything that's really low on the novelty? Things are okay. Yeah, we'll just leave here. Alright, and this will bring us to the next day, which again, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to the cafe. And that the coffee should help us reduce one exhaustion, but we should pick up and figure out what's going on in the rest of the, in the political sphere. Alright, you arrive at Café Principe to find it, as always, packed with customers engaged in animate conversation and gesticulating wildly with the cups of steaming coffee. Finding a seat at an empty table, you're approached by Marguerite, who at the... Oh my goodness, what's wrong with me these days? Jeez. Finding a seat at an empty table, you're approached by Marguerite, the waitress. Welcome back. What can I get you? And we will get one coffee.
Uh-huh.
Oh, certainly, madame, she replies happily. Yeah, because we're actually buying something. I think it's cool that her eyes are different colored, guys. That's so cool. You spent 3 livres. She gives you a quick curtsy before she checks in with another table, taking their order as well. You sigh and take in the cafe around you. The whole place hums with excitement as patrons make new pronouncements and trade verbal barbs with their compatriots. She returns with your coffee, steaming and hot. The porcelain cup clinks lightly as she sets it down, along with containers of milk and sugar. You take a sip of the powerful brew while Marguerite attends to leaves to attend other tables. Immediately, its invigorating effects become apparent. You have lost 1 level of exhaustion. You sip at your drink and get settled in. It feels familiar, like a louder and livelier version of Le Cygne, a public house you used to frequent back home. It didn't remove my exhaustion level. Game's bugged, guys. I've got no mods or anything. If it doesn't remove by the end of the day, that's going to be terrible. Taking out your journal and pencil, you close your eyes and relax, just listening to the bustling cafe. Not focusing on one individual, but letting the sum total of the room flow into your ears and assessing it all together. Occasionally, you open your eyes to jot down notes. Journal has been updated with the standings of all the political factions in Paris. You can check this in the Journal tab back at home. After a few minutes, it becomes obvious that the revolution is significantly more powerful than the crown. While it might be possible for the crown to resist the revolution's demands, they would have to build strong alliances with the other factions in order to do so. Opening your eyes, you switch your focus to something more specific. You scan the room, looking at everyone's manner of dress and body language. You're looking for more subtle hints about where everyone's allegiances lie. More notes quickly scratch into your journal. After some consideration, you deduce that the military is the most powerful minor faction in Paris. They support the crown for now, but it wouldn't take much to swing the balance. Now that you have your bearings politically, you start becoming a little more involved with your fellow patrons. The cafe is bustling, with discussions swirling around you in an ever-flowing morass. Chairs scrape the floor as patrons get up to switch seats in order to be better positioned in the current debate. Someone is reading loudly from a pamphlet extolling the virtues of the king as the surrogate father of the nation, but nobody's really paying attention to him. You get drawn into a conversation about the military and the crown. Aristocratic officers are lobbying the king for the right to dress as they please at court instead of wearing their uniforms. They feel that being forced to wear military livery casts them as servants instead of leaders. The generals are obviously unhappy about this. What say you? One of the patrons asks you, suddenly. The military is right. Regardless of the title, they should be proud to wear the king's uniform. Or the crown is right. The nobility deserve the ability to maintain their dignity at official functions. I don't think the military should have to wear their uniforms as long as they're dressed appropriately. I mean, the king can want what he wants, but I think if the military are leaders, why do they have to always present themselves as servants and members of their faction rather than they could just be there representing themselves? I'm gonna go with the military. At least one of the people in the discussion feels satisfied with that answer, but not everyone seems pleased. You're certain that your opinions will be known by nearly everyone in Paris by the time the next morning comes around. I saw one went down and one went up a little, but it doesn't tell me exactly who. It's now late in the day, while you're certain the conversations here will carry along into the night, you feel like you've done what you came here to do. Say your goodbyes to the various patrons of the cafe and head home with a little more knowledge than you had before. Alright, that better be gone, that exhaustion level. Okay, good. Let's see, should we respond to these other events? This bourgeoisie one, do we accept? You know what? Actually, maybe I don't do this one because that'll have us go 3 in a row, guys. I don't know that I want to do that. Let's actually decline this one. This is for Viscountess Maria Bernadotte. So we'll decline. Sorry. We'll accept this one to Viscount Charles Poitiers. And this church one, let's Duke Pierre Hottinger. We'll accept this. Alright. So I think what we'll do is we will continue and move on toward Honorade. This one's cool. I love this, man. That's a really, like, fluffy and, like, It's kind of like dark and goth, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's very regal, I think. We wore that last time, so should we wear this one instead? Yeah, let's wear this one. Wear something different. We wore that other dress the last time, so wear this new one. After spending the first half of the day getting ready, you head out for your rendezvous. You're neither well rested nor exhausted. Nothing is holding you back from being your most engaging self. You return to the fine dining room and crystal chandeliers of the Grand Taverne de Londres. A few aristocrats glance up from their tables at you and take your measure before returning to their splendid food. Looking around, you see that honorade arrived long before you did. Noticing you, she approaches and stands far closer than rules of politeness might allow. You've forgotten how good she is at looming over people. Oh, this is very pleasing, she says, looking at you through narrowed eyes as she slowly circles you like a panther. You've done quite well. You have gained a staggering amount of favor with Madame Gazelle. Turning her attention away from you, she surveys your location. Oh, I absolutely adore this place, Madame Gazelle says with a sigh. The food is exquisite, the lavish decor is excellent, and you know how much I love being served. Gain some favor. Nothing seems to be going up there. I'm not getting any notifications. Maybe this is just a continuation, or a copy of the last time. I don't know. So far, it's been exactly the same, and I wonder if this just helps. If you lost favor, then you can regain favor by doing this. Maybe that's one of the game mechanics. It seems that Madame Gazelle already knows their staff quite well, and they have a solid rapport. She orders for you, but the food that they give you is exquisite. Yeah, so far it's all the same. Yeah, it's all the same, guys. Oh. After the rendezvous, Madame Gazelle insists on giving you a ride back to your home. She's more energetic than usual. Yvette, what would you do if you suddenly had a vast fortune? Establish several income streams, then use the leftovers to bury myself in an avalanche of luxury. Or I'd relax. After all, I could finally stop worrying about money. Or wealth is influence. With that wealth, I could bend the world to my liking. Ooh. Considering that Yvette is very ambitious at this moment and she's trying to gain power, maybe this is what she would do. After all, the game, ambition, you know? Let's go with this one. I couldn't agree more. Once can only have so many things, but beyond that, wealth is for shaping the world. Every day we say things like, a day's wage, or it's worth my time. Money has always been the hours of human lives, wrapped into numbers. Something that precious should be used carefully to build something better. You've gained some favor. So we can still gain more favor because that notification went up. Of course, you already know that none of my questions are truly idle. No, she always has a plan. She's always got something in mind here. The last few weeks, I've been doing my best on learning how to manage my sudden fortune. I finally feel like I actually know what I'm doing. And no, I didn't put any money into wallpaper importing. Yeah, because that place got burnt down. I've reached a point where I know that I'm safe to make my own decisions and doesn't feel like Charles's fortune anymore. I've retired to my home and it doesn't feel like his house anymore. Everything truly feels mine. And something about that leaves me feeling torn. You're afraid that you're forgetting him? Or you should have felt like that to begin with. It was always yours. Or unfortunately, progress doesn't always feel good. I think she's afraid about forgetting him because she spent 2.5 years in mourning for him because she loved him that much. And if everything feels like hers, then she probably is afraid that, like, she doesn't maybe she feels like she doesn't have the same affection or the same love that she did. Maybe some of that is fading, or maybe she's feeling like she's forgotten him because, like, everything she's doing is for herself now. That's exactly it, she says with a sad smile. I'm afraid that I'll forget him. Gain some favor. See, I knew it. I know it. I'm just awesome like that. I know it's ridiculous, but that doesn't make me dread the possibility any less. Of course, while I can actually manage the finances, what I don't have is a purpose. The very nature of being wealthy means that my decisions affect a world much bigger than my own, even when I don't intend to. But all I've determined is that I should be doing something with my fortune other than indulging myself. After all, I have you for that. Oh, Madame Gazelle. Ooh. Every day it feels like Paris is being pulled between such different visions for the future. And I think the revolutionaries are right. They're the people, and so am I. Absolutely, the people are the lifeblood of France. Without their liberty, we have nothing. Or, I think you're absolutely right. Or, are you sure once the revolutionaries topple the nobility, who will they turn on next? And this one has a medium credibility challenge. I think the people make up your country, so I think we go that way. But again, I am from the US, so I have a different sense of what country and government is. If you are from a different country, you probably feel differently. But this is where I'm from. This is what my standings and my opinions are.
Ah.
She blinks a few times, taken aback by your sudden zeal. I must admit, I didn't take you to be such an ardent nationalist. Still, you're right. I'll see what I can do to make you sure my spare funds support suitably revolutionary causes. Bourgeoisie has moved towards the revolution quite a lot. You've lost a little credibility. Oh, come on, man. She smiles, satisfied. This is the kind of savvy I appreciate in you. I also like to thank you for your patience. I imagine that most of your past romantic dalliances didn't involve someone bringing up their departed spouse so much. At least for your sake, I hope not. Don't worry, it's new to me, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Or, I have to admit, it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Or, actually, would you mind telling me more about Charles? Actually, I would like to know more about him. And she might appreciate that too, actually. So let's go with this.
Mm-hmm.
He was vivacious, kind, and indulgent. Life just burned inside him like a furnace. He was always looking for some new hill to conquer. Of course, it drove him mad to sit still, which sometimes led him to driving me mad, but that was all right. When I was first trying to teach myself how to manage my affairs, I read Charles's journals to see what he was thinking when he made all of his decisions. I always knew he was wound a little tight, but I had no idea how afraid he actually was. To him, the world was always 2 steps from complete disaster. He always had to be taking charge and guiding things to a proper path. Her reverie turns to a wistful smile. I suppose that would explain why his carnal tastes were so opposite. It was the only place he felt safe enough to let go. Oh. Huh. So... Huh. Madame Gazelle. Madame Gazelle Honorade. Are you a dommy mommy? Oh my goodness. I think she is, fellas. Like, she had that special thing that they were making for her, and she was... And there was... I think there was somebody else that had made mention about her, her desires. Yeah, I think she is, guys. Gain some favor with her. You lurch forward in your seat as the carriage comes to a halt. Pulling aside the dark curtains, you see that you've arrived at your home. Renee opens the door and helps you down out of the carriage. As you turn to say goodbye, you notice Madame Gazelle's hand hanging down in front of you expectantly. Kiss the back of her hand. You bend low and kiss the back of her hand. The hand wraps around your chin and pulls your head upwards, and you find yourself with Madame Gazelle staring down at you. Good girl, she murmurs, low. She presses her lips against yours, gently seizing the back of your head with her free hand. Her touch is gentle, but firm. Oh, did they just kiss? Ooh, so scandalous back in this time. Gained quite a bit of favor with her. She lets go of the back of your head and resumes gently holding you by the chin. You may go for now. I will avail myself of you again soon enough. Letting go, she gives a silent signal to Rene, who remounts his coachman's box, craps his whip, and soon her carriage disappears into the night. It's then that you turn around and realize that Camille has been standing there the entire time. Standing stock still, she holds the door open for you, her cheeks flushed red. Oh yeah, because she got quite a show, didn't she? Did you enjoy yourself, madame? She stammers. I did, Camille, immensely. Or, I did what needed to be done, nothing more, nothing less. And, why, Camille, is that jealousy I hear in your voice? Ooh, let's go with that one. Ooh la la. What? No, of course not, madame. I'm simply not sure if a woman of your station should let themselves be handled like that, she says, failing to meet your gaze for the entire sentence. Okay. That answer feels suspiciously incomplete, but you'll let it pass. For now. Someone of your station? So, does she? I don't know. Let's not delve into that. Camille lets you inside and you head upstairs to your bedroom. Curious thoughts drift through your head as you write down the evening's events into your journal. Wow. Alright, so now we've got a party to attend. Whoa. The National Assembly. For the last few weeks, discussions at the Estates General have been dragging out and growing even more divisive. Enraged by their unfair representation, representatives of the Third Estate have created their own body called the National Assembly and invited members of the other states to join them in negotiations on what would, in theory, be fairer ground. This is, of course, in direct conflict with the orders of the king, who determined the voting system used in the Estates General. The nobility in the First Estate have called on the crown to issue a swift and decisive condemnation of this rebellious act. However, His Majesty King Louis XVI has yet to issue any official statement on the National Assembly. Reports suggest that he has instead chosen to spend the last few days in long meetings with the courtiers of his Privy Council, trying to reach a decision. And so, in Paris, life goes on. Sounds like things are really taking a turn now. Alright, so we've got a party with the church going on. Let's see. This one, plus 13, looks good. Yeah, plus 13 it is. So we go with this one. We will lose 5 credibility because of our exhaustion, which means we'll go up by 8 for 90 credibility, and we can buy some wine to bring that up to 93, which I think is a good place to start. Let's head straight for the party. Yep. And let's gift them some wine. Alright, so now we're at 93 credibility, 32 peril. Alright, let's see. Oh, here's Ludovico. And this one is different. This one is loose lips. This is for gossip. Blessed secrecy. The couple in this section of the party seems to be absolutely brimming with gossip and secrets, yet it feels like there's something that they're just not telling you. It may take some convincing, but such hidden truths could be valuable. Alright, so I think we're gonna go with this Ludovico one. The question of cuisine. Father Sadati, the priest from Rome, has found himself in an argument about desserts. Yes, really. Alright. You would spot the priest, Father Sadati, sampling some of the desserts and talking with another guest. He looks like he'll have something interesting to discuss, and the sweets look quite enticing as well. With your mind made up, you decide to approach them. Oh my, this cake is spectacular. The custard inside complements the fruits just perfectly. I'm so glad you like it. It's far Breton. My chef is from Brittany, and the dish is his specialty of his. He's a true French chef to his very heart, which makes him one of the finest in the world, the guest replies with a great deal of pride. Ludovico slowly puts down his fork. That's a very interesting choice of words, he replies, and you swear that his Italian accent is growing more pronounced. while I'll admit that this fine far breton is certainly a recipe from Brittany, I must remind you that both cakes and custards only came to France because Catherine de' Medici brought her Italian chefs with her when she married your Henry II all those years ago. I beg your pardon, this dish has only been created in France. Thus, it is a French recipe, she replies, enunciating every syllable very carefully. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, Ludovico mumbles to himself while rubbing his temples. Ludovico sees you and perks up. Yvette, please come here. I need your help with something. It's a simple question. Whose chefs have contributed more to cuisine? Those of France or Italy? I'm sorry, Ludovico, but my loyalty is to France. Or Italian techniques are the foundations of French cuisine. Theirs is better by default. And increase the peril. Or, pardon-moi, I'm merely here to sample some desserts. Please don't mind me. Yvette is French, so I kind of feel like she would be in support of France. Plus, she's from the country, so I don't know how well-versed she is in global cuisine. But, so let's go with that. I don't know that we want to add peril. At this point, I'm going to lose credibility, I think, but... Exactly, the woman happily replies. Just because one starts something doesn't make them the master of it. Italy may have started some of our fine traditions, but we're the ones that finish them. You've gained some credibility, okay. Ludovico turns to you, shocked and hurt. Ah, yes, I see where your loyalties lie. Lost a little favor. With that, Ludovico leaves. You divert yourself chatting with the gourmand about France's culinary heritage. Unfortunately, she's still drunk on her recent victory and spends too much time lecturing you to be an agreeable conversational partner. Eventually, you manage to excuse yourself in order to investigate the rest of the party and see if there's anything else you can do before it ends. That was kind of unfair game. Kinda unfair. Holier than thou. Let's see. An imposter. Lost coin. And this one looks like Anne, the subject of slander. It appears that someone is impugning your good name on behalf of one of your enemies. However, Anne de Cromer may have a solution to that. As you take another turn about the party, you notice that a hush has fallen over the groups near you. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot someone to make a big show of stealthily glancing in your direction, like a dance of false surreptitiousness. Someone giggles to themselves. That cannot be good. It's then that Anne de Cromer appears at your side, gently taking you by the elbow and guiding you away from the other guests before you can confront them. I feel like I should warn you that someone's been spreading vicious rumors about you. Rumors that I know to be lies, she whispers. You've lost some credibility. Well, that certainly explains it. It's the reason to believe that this is happening at the behest of a woman who wears an emerald necklace and has a scar on her chin. Strangely, this isn't the first time I've encountered her, but every time I've tried to learn more about her, I ran directly into a dead end. Yes, because this is Johanna. From what I've heard, they're trying to insinuate that not only are you involved with someone other than your fiancé, but your affections for them are mercenary in nature. These rumors say that your original rescue at the extravagant hands of the widow Honoré Gazelle was staged from the very beginning. It then goes deeper to claim that you've drawn her into a web of seduction for which she happily pays for in preposterous amounts of coin. Heaven only knows why anyone would even fall for stories so outrageous. So they're saying that Honoré being there from the beginning was us having her be there to rescue us, and then to say that she pays a huge amount of coin for our time? No, she doesn't. Although we didn't pay for those dinners, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, she invited us out. That was on her to pay for. But still, we just happened upon her, and we took to each other's because we had so much that so much of our thoughts lined up together. As for my role in this, the person actually spreading this ludicrous version of events is someone whose fabrications once nearly cost me my career. an unctuous little man who would sooner grasp onto a red-hot iron than the truth. My proposal is simple. Now that you're the target of his malicious intentions, we should start a false rumor about you. Once he's committed to spreading this new lie, we can then reveal the ruse and expose him for the charlatan that he is. I get revenge, you get your good name restored, and there's likely some fine gossip in the whole affair. A perfect plan, non? I enjoy vengeance more than the finest wines. Please do go on. Or, non, I don't have time for schemes that would take weeks to come to fruition. Or, why not expose the original lie? Well, exposing a lie that comes from someone else is much harder than you being the origination of a lie and then exposing yourself as having created the lie. That is much easier. Plus, it goes into the account that you purposely created a lie and they fell for it, delivering it as truth and news instead of actually getting to the facts and getting to the truth of the nature. But also, I enjoy vengeance, because we had gotten vengeance on Marcel, if you remember.
Aha.
Fantastique! This little fiend is known as the Baron de Tot, though I'm honestly not sure if he's the actual Baron or just using the title of a relative to add gravitas to his fabrications. What I do know is that he's inherited enough wealth to put him beyond the reach of honest labor, so he takes to these rumors for want of something useful to occupy his time. We need to invent the kind of lie he'd mindlessly repeat to all and sundry. He tends to focus on things that have a scandalous romantic element, but usually include a conspiracy of some sort.
Huh.
Which is clever, as loath as I am to admit. The nice thing about conspiracies is that they don't have to make sense. Any inconsistencies can be waved away by, "That's what the masterminds wants you to think," as if our world were dramatic enough for these things. So, how would we start this? What if I turned my romantic sights on an old widower? Or perhaps I'm involved in a smuggling ring? Or why not say that I'm starting to court a foreigner recently arrived in Paris? Ooh, that sounds very, salacious. Anne says to herself, it's almost there, but not quite. We'll have to finesse that a little bit to make it work, which might raise some eyebrows. Aw, man. Lost a little credibility, which is all according to plan, but gained a little peril, which is not according to plan. With that taken care of, we need the motivation. Why exactly are you doing this? Alright, so for pure pleasure, I'm following my own hedonistic whims, or opportunism. Fortune favored me with this chance, and I seized it with no thought of consequences. Or this is clearly a ruse to gain the attention of prominent unknown courtier in Versailles. Let's go with the hedonistic whims, because that's going to be salacious, right? That's nearly it, Anne says emphatically, striking her fist against an open palm. I can work with this, but I may have to fluff it up a little bit. Oh, man. Jeez, we're just gaining peril left and right now. Anne turns to you. I'll accidentally drop this little intrigue of ours in a conversation with the Baron de Tot, and I can assure you he'll start spreading it like a pox. We can meet up again soon and put an end to this slander. With that, she leaves, and you're free to engage in your own plans. All that's left for you is to meet up with Anne again, or you'll have damaged your reputation for nothing. That would certainly be disappointing. Indeed. Indeed. Right now, it's kind of crazy. Holy intrigue. Making deals. Oh, this is Jakov again. An imposter, and there's this one. A painful revelation. It looks like Anne de Cromer has everything in place, and at the time of your vengeance against the Baron de Tot is nigh. Alright, let's go into it. Considering your next move, you decide to take a turn of the cathedral and see what's on offer. It seems that Anne's plan to spread rumors about you in order to set up the Baron de Tot for humiliation is working. You can tell because when you near a group, everyone starts whispering and making a pointed effort at not looking in your direction, which is moronic. Why would anyone not want you to look at them? Your musings on fools are interrupted by perhaps the biggest fool of all. Ah, bonjour, madame. I'm Claude, the Baron d'Etat. Perhaps you've heard of me? You may not be aware, but I've certainly heard quite a lot about you, he says with the subtlety of a brick being hurled through a window. You've lost a little credibility. I don't know what exactly you've done to Johanna's ire, to earn Johanna's ire, but she seems most pleased with my work. Then again, I'd have nothing to work with if you didn't engage in such outrageous behavior yourself. That's certainly true. To a point, I clearly left myself open for such an attack. Or even if I did no wrong, you'd have to invent one. So what does it matter? Or can we just discuss anything else? I guess we'll just go with it and just lead him down the path. That's certainly true to a point. I clearly left myself open for such an attack. Well, I'm glad you understand, he mutters, clearly caught off guard by his failure to elicit an outburst from you. Excusez-moi, monsieur, but are you the Baron d'Etat? Asks a young woman. Over the Baron's shoulder in the distance, you see Anne raising her glass to you. Oui, oui, madame. Has my reputation truly spread so far? Mon Dieu, she gasps as her eyes land upon you. You're really willing to be in the company of Madame Ducos, despite that terrible joke that's been played upon you? Oh, please, madame, I doubt there's anything even a craven creature like Madame Ducos can say that would... What was it that you just said about a terrible joke? It's just that you were repeating those rumors about her, but it came out just yesterday that everything in that story was completely false. Well, that was enough to scandalize a few in the room. In fact, you're pretty sure you heard someone dropping the glass. What? I have this on good authority from someone in this very room. Well, yes, Madame de Grosmere made it up just to see how gullible you are. You know, a jape. Come on, Baron d'Etat, you still remember what a joke is, right? I'm shocked you didn't recognize the joke. I mean, you are one, after all. Ooh, nice. Baron, can we even be sure the other rumors you've been spreading are true? Oh, let's go with that one. I don't see how that's relevant, he mumbles in reply. However, judging from some of the looks that you're seeing around this room, this feels quite relevant. Quite relevant indeed. The murmuring of the crowd grows louder and more insistent, shifting the chosen subject of their scorn in an instant. It appears that your vindication is nigh. Credibility gone way back up. How awkward. Perhaps I should leave, the interloper says, starting to fall victim to a wave of sympathetic embarrassment that you are entirely immune to. She leaves, and the Baron is affixing you with the looks of venomous hatred. His features swell up like a toad, preparing to unleash some truly poisonous barb. And then he scuttles away without anything to say. Well, if he didn't want to bring your vengeance upon him, he wouldn't have wronged you in the first place. Very true. Don't dish it if you can't take it. Anne joins you, already handing you a fresh glass of white wine. A toast for the victors, eh? You take a long sip of the wine and find it shockingly refreshing. This sort of story is exactly the sort of thing that Pierre and his readers will love. There's something fitting in the idea of a propagator of tiresome false intrigues becoming the more enticing subject of a real one. You've gained a piece of outrageous church gossip. Yeah, we are the subject matter of it. You and Anne stay a while to drink and celebrate your victory before parting ways. This is lovely, but there's always more to do. Unless that was the last of the night. Oh no, we got one more thing. Okay, cool. Lost coin, holier than thou, an imposter, and feigned acquaintance. Okay, so feigned acquaintance has cheap church gossip. Lost coin has the ability to make some coin there. Holier than thou is also cheap church gossip. And in imposter, we have shocking church gossip. Let's pick this one. You freeze in your tracks when you spot her. Ever since your last encounter, you've been looking for her. This is the woman who's been imitating you, and even had the audacity to try taking out a vast loan in your name. Let's sneak up on her again. Yeah, we'll just sneak up on her again. It's so lovely to finally meet you, Madame Ducos, says the guest speaking with the imposter. Now that you're close to your double, you have to admit that her resemblance to you is uncanny. I think this is all the same. I'm just gonna kind of skip through here. Yeah, so far it's all the same. Alright, oh, wow. If we increase our peril by a medium amount, we can just let her keep doing it. No, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna take everything back. Yeah, it's all the same so far. So we'll go with the credibility challenge. We're at 95.
Huh.
All right, and then she gives us everything: the shocking church gossip as well as 73 livres. And she just bounces. Like that was what happened the last time too. All right, so we've got quite a bit of gossip. Two things that I really want to sell, and then some cheap stuff that I want to use for swaying favor. Let's see. Oh, got a revolution thing here. I think I'm going to decline this one. Count Emil Ingelger. We'll decline that. Got too many things going on here. Let me take a look at the map here. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. We got the direct action thing going, which is something we can do to advance Antoine. Turned around. Choosing to explore the city later in the evening, you happen across a certain widow and a certain priest. Oh. I guess we have to choose between the two of them on that one? Unwilling confessor. It appears that Pierre is trying to convince Father Sidati to participate in some unsavory scheme of his. Might be prime opportunity to get on either of their good sides. Nah. Making us choose game? That's not cool. But, you know, in line with that, I'm not going to make you guys choose. Because you're just going to have to come back for the next one if you want to see more. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope that you'll come back and visit me once again for more Ambition, a Minuet in Power. And I hope to see you the next time. Until then, bye.